Tom Rioch, promoting successful business experts, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. Joining us today from Oakville, Ontario in Canada, Alan McLaren, personal branding expert, speaker, co-founder at Strata Originals, works with CEOs, executives, and entrepreneurs to build authentic personal brands. So Alan, why do some folks not like the term personal branding?
Well, it's a pretty normal reaction because of what they believe it is and what we believe it is. Mm-hmm. So what we've seen out there is people believe that it's all about self-promotion and look at me and let me pound my chest and let me tell you how smart I am and how good I am, mm-hmm. and all the people I know, and oh my good, look at all these wonderful pictures of me in Brazil and me in Italy and me in it, and it is nothing to do with that.
Right.
When you break it down, personal branding is about, first of all, discovering the best of you, which is the first step. What are your gifts? What is your credibility? What are you known for in the world? And what do people expect from you? How do they see you in the world? And then when you discover that gift, you communicate that. And the way that we talk about it is in the most authentic way possible, meaning you're teaching people.
Well, I think that's an important point today when you talk about authenticity, because there's just so much fake. Everything's fake. With artificial intelligence, you can make all the pictures you want. I can be as pretty as I want to be and probably as smart as I want to be, but that might not be the case. So I think people are getting tired of fake.
Well, the fake is everywhere, and then now you can't watch a video and now say, well, is that real anymore? Because you really can't tell anymore.
Right.
What we recommend in the work that we do is we recommend video, which is a very hard thing for people to want to do because they're fearful of how they come across. Are they comfortable? So part of the chasm that we have to take them across is to understand that if you're telling a story that is your story and you're teaching people, it is the safest zone in the world because it's your story. No one can say, well, I disagree. How can you disagree? I told you, I explained to you how I dealt with a turnaround where I had to fire 325 people. Here's how I did it. Here was the result. What can you say against? Well, I would have done it differently. Absolutely, you can do that, but my story is valid.
Right.
So what we try to teach people is how to storytell, how to do that effectively. And when you're truly giving of yourself, and this is really important, the authenticity is not only I am who I am, but it's I am sharing what I know, and you agree that I know that stuff, so we can have a conversation. When you do that, personal branding is not icky anymore, right? Because it can't be, because it's about when I do my videos, and you've been on my LinkedIn, you see I'm not selling a thing. I'm not saying, and by the way, here's my link to this. No,
right.
I'm going to teach you, and if you learn from it, I feel really good. Then if you agree that you want to work with somebody like me and my team, then that happens very organically.
Well, you mentioned an interesting point, even on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has now added, let's say, an extra value to videos on the profile, which recently wasn't the case.
Correct.
So,
and in fact...
And to your point, most people aren't really comfortable with having videos of themselves.
It's incredible how the work we do with the CEOs, and these are some high-powered folks. So these are some really, and the fear is palpable.
Right.
They sit there, they're going, I can't do so. But here's what's really cool. When you teach them the skill of that, and we practice and practice and practice, they get on the other side, they're unstoppable. But they get on the other side of it to ultimately recognize that this fear, as most fear, is really unfounded. Right? It's really unfounded. So that's why I would say that once you learn about the true personal branding, then it doesn't become icky. It becomes about how do I leverage what I know to build reputation to attract people into my world.
Well, I actually wrote that word down before I even clicked on you, reputation, and I followed that. And on your Strata site, you show that. Thought leadership in building your online reputation. And that's important because our reputation is everywhere. And back to the credibility that you mentioned, that's gold.
Think about this for a second, right? We use this analogy that if we were to think of a physical room, we don't get into physical rooms a lot, but your personal brand shows up before you do.
Right.
And when you leave, it's still there.
It's still there.
So the thing is, what are people saying about you? Are they protecting you in places where you need to be protected? Are they celebrating you when you don't ask them to celebrate you? That's what personal branding ultimately is, because
Right.
the intentionality just allows you to say, I want to share this with my world, and then stuff will come to you, right? Think of it, they don't think of it as a marketing strategy, because that's dangerous. Marketing is interruption world, right? It's,
Right,
let me
right.
interrupt you. If you're a potential client, you may be
Right.
happy about that and you'll buy. This is a trust building world, traction strategy. So I get leads all the time. Tom, I had one on Friday, Instagram post, don't know the person. Could you come and speak to our group in New York? Yes. Monday, contract signed. Monday, a person from Cyprus, don't know where they are, saw your video, 30-second video. I think I need some help, and close the business within 5 minutes.
Right.
That happened in our old world.
No. And that's credibility.
Credibility.
And I found that myself. When people knock on your door, they know a whole lot more about you than you even think.
You know what the coolest part, which I did, is kind of a weird discovery, but people think they know you because they've now experienced you, 6 or 7 hours over a year. And then when they talk to you, there's no trust building anymore. They trust you.
Right.
You're now trying to figure out who these people are to say, are they the right people to work with? So it's fascinating. You started with a question, is it icky? It's icky if you think it's influence and selling. It's not icky if it's about sharing the best of you. That's what the magic is. And when you figure that out, my God, it's really cool.
And it really is. And we see that it's so different today. Because, I want to say many years ago, it wasn't too long ago that everything was face-to-face, and people really had more credible because it was the touchy-huggy thing. It was the touchy-feely thing. But online today, the world is 24/7. It's round. We're talking right now, half of the world's already had their day.
That's true.
And we're just picking up the crumbs that they leave. So you got to be... We're online. We're found online 24/7. We may not be online, but we are there.
And think about two things to reflect on what you said. In the older days, and I can say that because I have a gray hair, you can't see that on the podcast, but you controlled the narrative because you had a company with hundreds of people, and it was inside an office. Everybody come to the office. So you controlled that narrative.
Right.
That narrative is now distributed, right? So now it's changed, and your clients have changed.
Right.
The next set of clients are not people in their 50s and 60s. They're people in their 40s that grew up in a different world. And if you can't communicate, you're banging on a wall.
Well, they can be 13-year-olds today.
They can be 13-year-olds too with money. That's
and
right.
Somewhere out there, we don't even know where they are, but they know where we are.
But you know what? We often teach some of the CEOs with us. One of them, the one that I was talking to in Cyprus, she says, I'm really uncomfortable with video. And I said, but your first question was, you want the next third of your life to be really cool. Wouldn't it be great if you learned that skill and developed that skill?
Right.
And she went, I never thought of it that way. So I said, let's look at it as a development, a transformation opportunity for you to say, now I can learn something I'm not comfortable with. And remember, you're not trying to be funny. You're not trying to be, if you're an intellectual, you're an intellectual.
Right.
That's okay. If you lead with your heart, which is kind of what I do, then people will feel that. Even on video, they will feel that.
Well, back to your site, you're saying right at the top, you are original. So you're helping people protect their originality. You don't want to change them into something they're not, right?
Because you can't, people sense that and they feel that. Even on a video, they can tell when you're selling.
Right.
They can tell when you have another agenda. If you're really, really sincere about giving, then they feel that too. And then they'll want to do business with you quicker because the trust is already there.
Right. Well, good to that point. Well, how can our listeners find you? What's the best place, Alan?
Well, I think start on LinkedIn. Alan McLaren is a great place, strataoriginals.com. And if you are interested, when you reach out to me, I've got some tools for people looking to build their personal brand that are free, no obligation. I can send you to a landing page, and you can, maybe even Tom, if you want to put it in the link, here's a place where you can go grab a page that helps you figure out your personal brand. We want to inspire leaders to be out there. And so if I can do that, that makes me feel good. And those that need help, we're a premium service, so we're not for everybody, but those that want help, we're here. But even if we don't help, we want people to be out there sharing their gifts. So
very good. Well, you've made me feel good today.
Awesome, Tom.
I'm sure we've helped other people.
That's more important, isn't it?
Right. So take care. Thank you again.
Thanks, Tom.
And again, for our listeners, you can find more information. It's Alan McLaren, A-L-A-N, the last name M-C-L-A-R-E-N. You find him at strataoriginals.com, strataoriginals.com, and you also find him on LinkedIn. Cafe Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at their site, focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Cafe and Networking Podcast.